What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing tonight? That was cool. That music was cool.
Yeah, I actually like that one. Can we keep that one? What is that? The lounge station, y'all. This is our. I wish it could be integrated and like Instagram could like really hear. You know.
You would have to get monitors. We had to bring that monitor back.
Yeah.
Smaller ones to put on top of the table.
Yeah. If any somehow Instagram needs to do that as a nice little upgrade for these live streams, that would be nice. But anyway, we are here.
Yep, tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight is Wednesday night, July 19th, 2023. Thank you all for joining us. And tonight's topic is what to do when your spouse changes.
Yes, this is a big one. Head right on into this one.
Changes. What we mean by changes? Physical,
all
emotional.
types of changes. See, that's really, I guess, the thing about marriage, right? In particular, this is a question from a married couple, so that's always nice. But in particular, marriage, because it's lifelong. It's supposed to be. So you're gonna go through so many experiences together and just naturally change, and hopefully that change though is growth.
Right.
Or in particular, you want to make sure how you communicate and navigate through that so that the change does become growth and not,
right,
a bad thing, right, which can happen.
And as always, this is a live show. So for all the Instagram people who are joining in, also the YouTube people as well, if you all have questions or want to hear us talk about certain topics, by all means, please drop it in the comment section. We will try to get to it during the show, and we can address some questions that you all have, especially. So welcome. And also, too, if you later want to submit a topic or a question later, you can go to our www.wifeconomics.com/submit a question page. And also, too, for the Instagram viewers on our YouTube channel, we have the letter that we're going to talk about tonight. And you will be able to read along with us on that letter on our YouTube channel. So that is where it's at.
Yeah. If you just so happen to ask a question and want to see, hey, is this the question I asked? So
right.
Yeah. Anyways, let's head on in. So the subject said, how can I say this nicely? My husband and I have been married for 3 years, and during this time, he has put on a lot of weight. He has become a fat yet muscular man. As for me, I've kept my figure. I'm a slender and fit wife. We even did the whole Barney and Betty Rubble thing one Halloween because we know it in its cliche. It's not like he doesn't work out, he just has a hard time losing the body fat. The thing is, his sexual appetite has always been high. For me, it's decreasing. It's not like I don't want to have sex, it's just that I haven't been in the mood as the years have passed. He does help with chores, and Saturday is takeout day, and Sunday is daddy cook day. But I am still tired and not in the mood. It is starting to affect his mood the longer we don't have it. He'll snap and complain. I don't want to hurt his feelings. He's a good man. How can I get him to get himself back in shape so I can be more attracted to him?
Well, here's the thing. You've taken wedding vows and till death do you part. And that, ma'am, that is your service to your husband is to be, to do your wifely duties to him. And we're going to cover some ways that you can communicate with him better. But it's just that you have to understand that through all those changes, of course, this man is still your husband, and that is part of your duty. To be honest with you, is to make sure that his needs are met, and vice versa. And I can tell and see that he's doing a good job as being a provider and a protector for the family. That is the main focus for him there. But also too is, his needs are not met sexually, and he gets frustrated by that. And I understand for you as well that you are not as attracted to him as before. So we're going to give you some things that you can do in order to gain that intimacy back with your husband. So
Yeah, because, maintaining physical intimacy with the spouse who has gained weight or changed their appearance. We're going to get into all about different changes, but in particular for this one that kicked off this whole thing, it can be challenging and very common with the weight gain or changes, any kind of changes in your appearance, maybe balding or like, I don't know, physical changes,
Or either
wrinkles.
health or either
Yeah,
medical changes as
exactly.
well.
Yep, exactly. That can impact how you look. But in general, it's really important to remember why you got married. And hopefully, like my husband was hitting on, it's way more than just physical. Because if it was just physical to begin with, we got some bigger problems on our hands than just tackling, weight. Because the great thing is weight can be changed, and like my husband was mentioning as well too, it for a wife it's really a great thing to be able to cultivate an environment that's going to encourage this growth and encourage this change but not hinder it. And in particular, rejecting your husband, ma'am, is one surefire way to lead to resentment, anger, sadness, difficult communication. It's just not going to lead you in the direction you want to go as a married woman wanting a successful marriage. So rejection is certainly something you have to kind of come to grips with and understand that it's not right. It's not something you can do, because in particular, when your spouse is going through a change, when you reject them, you really leave them vulnerable. You can increase the intensity of the feelings that they're already feeling within themselves, and that it's just not a good environment for them. And that's unfortunate. So rejection also, though, will certainly make it hard for you to like connect with your spouse. I kind of just wrote down some simple thoughts that I had in my mind in general when it comes to rejection, because it's important not to leave your spouse feeling isolated or alone in any type of change that they're going through. So whatever it is, just be mindful of not rejecting them, because it's just only going to confirm whatever they're feeling, just make them more isolated and push y'all apart. So now that we've gotten through that main part, I think when it comes to this, being able to, in particular, get over the hump of attractiveness would really to be focusing on the aspects that you do find attractive about him. So like my husband pointed out, the whole idea of being a protector and a provider. You haven't complained about him doing anything that's negative, minus how he looks. You've even given him kudos to the fact that you said, he's doing what was it, takeout? Y'all do takeout
And he cooks
Saturdays and
on
the
daddy cook on Sunday.
right, yeah. And I think you mentioned he does chores around the house. If I go back to letter, but yeah, like you're already giving him his due props for the fact that he is still doing everything that he is supposed to do as a husband. So this is when it's more than your time to kind of step up as a wife. And if you recognize that this is becoming a problem, to then be open and honest with your spouse about your feelings. I don't know why you aren't talking. Maybe it's just only because y'all been together, maybe married 3 years, it's kind of young.
Well, I think it's more so she doesn't know how to communicate this to him without hurting his feelings. Because, flip side. So think about it this way, is that if she told him that, if he told her that she was fat, how would she carry that? She probably knows deep down inside that she would get upset by that.
Yeah.
And that's what is hindering her from telling him the truth. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with her. That's what's going on with her there.
Yeah, I get it. But you still gotta. To me, there's some disconnect here, because when you're married, when you're married, you have to be comfortable communicating your feelings at all times and being open and honest, even when it's difficult, because this is the only way that you're going to work through, whatever you're going through. And if you are finding it to be difficult, maybe it's because you can't find the words, but in particular, just remember to be respectful. So don't try to communicate this. We always talk about this, the timing, the environment, all of that, is super important. And this can relate to any type of change that is difficult to bring up to your spouse, whatever it is. I mean, you can really apply this to a lot of different things, but, just be mindful of your words and your actions. Because if you make like comments about your husband or wife's weight or appearance, you may think you're being helpful, but in all actuality, you could, cause more stress and not come off as supportive or encouraging as you should be in particular. So, I mean, I just want to think, I guess we'll have to go through that specifically. And that's probably good to do anyway. Just kind of go through, after we go through kind of the steps of in general, how to work through change. Because I think in particular, this is the reason why I thought this could apply great to the topic of change, is because it's more about finding a rhythm of how you can recognize that something's going on and then
Being
be able to
proactive.
adjust to it. Exactly.
Right, because I have a
Exactly. Yeah.
solution for all of this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's real
Let's go.
simple.
What do you think so far? Yeah.
Well, she cooks, so
Mhm.
she can diet. They can diet.
Yes. Yeah.
And then also too, why doesn't she say, "Hey, honey, let's go to the gym together. Let's work
Right.
out together."
Right.
That's it.
Cultivate that environment. Yeah,
Right.
that will influence
But if
the
he's
growth.
that
Yeah.
big, he needs to diet, fast, drink his water,
Right.
exercise.
Yeah.
So she has to make sure that he's doing all of those things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that we can dig more into that a bit later, because those are super specific. And yeah, when it comes to weight loss, it's really about cultivating an environment that's going to help develop
Motivate,
healthy habits. Yep. And
motivate. And he
motivate.
needs to
Yep.
be motivated and inspired to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And also, too, in particular, he's probably tired right along with you if he's picking up a lot of the slack because, he's wanting you to have sex with him, to be honest. Like, he's going to want to do the housework, hoping that you're in the mood, especially if you complain about being tired or whatever the reason, that the woman may throw out because she don't want to have sex. I'm tired is a common one. So that's probably why he is picking up the slack from, trying to get you not tired, I guess, because you want your wife to have sex.
No,
But
but that's part of his duties.
It
Duties
is,
too, is to help out, around the house.
It is. But yeah, just know that's probably his extra incentive. Hopefully, you would hope. I don't know. You would hope. But nonetheless, change in general is a natural part of life, and it's really about how we adapt and change that determines overall if the experience is positive or negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in particular, I guess some certain life experiences and changes that could happen that would affect the marriage besides, maybe physical changes, but even major life changes. So you're talking about having kids, that's a big time, maybe losing a job, or even things like depression. You can all the range of emotions mentally and, maybe even spiritually that a person could be going through are significant life events that could really impact, how you operate within your marriage and how you communicate and adjust, how you spend your time together, and even mainly how you interact throughout the day.
Yeah. And so as we grow and evolve as individuals, so do our relationships. So we may change our interests, our values, or our priorities. These changes can sometimes lead to conflict in your relationships. If you don't, what are we doing?
Sorry, the thing.
Sorry, if we don't move as a team through them. So this way, changes can also be an opportunity for growth.
Yep, that is so true. So in particular, I guess when you're talking about certain changes, you want to look at it from the positive perspective of how can you guys grow within your relationship, and less so much how you're growing apart, but how you guys can grow together. So, for example, your spouse, look at it like your spouse becoming more interesting because they're deciding to take on new challenges, whether that's with work or hobbies or whatever the case may be. Look at it as them being more interesting and something that you are enjoying seeing them grow in, and also how it can help you grow as a couple, because then you got more things to learn from this spouse now that they've, went out and acquired more skills. Maybe like in the guy, if he goes out, excels in his career, gains new, things, that knowledge that he gains in his experience, whatever that is, just all of that are things that can be added to the team and as a great, great success for the overall objective of the marriage, of how y'all grow together. So just your perspective of how you look at change will really influence whether or not it's good or bad. Also too, like if you think about the simple aspect of your spouse becoming more compassionate, especially if you are able to go through a difficult experience with your spouse, whatever the change is, you're able to garner a greater empathy or compassion. So in particular with this this woman being able to, I know my
Keep moving the mic.
I know. In particular, with this young woman, if she is able to look at it as a way to understand maybe what he's going through and what may have contributed to weight gain, because there are a lot of different reasons why, a spouse may gain weight. Maybe he's stressed out and you don't know about it, or, whatever the reason, just it offers an opportunity to really be able to ask your spouse, hey, what's going on? And let's connect in this moment. Bring me into your world. Because although you are living a world together, you are still two separate people who are going to have separate experiences and go through different things. So it's important that you're in with each other on these things when it happens. That's why it's kind of off-putting that this having conversation like something like this is hard, because I really encourage, if you are not married, any people out here that are not married yet, really make sure that you're comfortable talking to your spouse about, all types of things, your thoughts, your feelings, those deep, intimate, conversations you have with yourself.
Sex.
Yeah.
Because sex can be uncomfortable for man and women,
Mhm.
the opposite, male and female.
Yeah.
By far, if you all can start with those conversations first, that'll probably make it easier for the other parts of your life,
Mhm.
finances, and all of that.
Yeah. So you want to work through, I guess, kind of like what this would look like for a spouse, in particular, if they're working through something like this.
They change.
Mhm.
So they change. Let's say that one spouse, let's call them John, for example, starts to gain weight after they get married. This could be due to a number of reasons, such as stress, like my wife said already, stress, diet, exercise habits, or even medical conditions, like I stated before. So the impact is John's weight gain can have a number of impacts on their marriage. For example, their spouse, let's say Mary, or in this case, she may start to feel less attracted to them, and may worry about his health in the future as well.
Right.
So the conversation. So what they need to talk about. So they need to have a conversation about his weight, and the conversation should be open and honest and respectful. John should be able to share his feelings, his thoughts about his weight gain, and also Mary should be able to share those concerns, her concerns as well.
Yeah. How that would look, really listen, to what John has to say. If you give this a whole person, so taking the time to listen and seeing what are these reasons and understanding, and not kind of just coming down on him like, oh, you gained so much weight and you're unattractive, or maybe, not even approaching the whole conversation that way. Like, don't even bring attraction into this, to be honest. If you're really looking for the best way to kind of bring it to it, don't tell them, I ain't attracted to you no more, whatever the case may be.
Let him ask that question, because that digs on a man's ego and his self-esteem.
I feel he would already know.
The whole thing you need to do here is work on inspiration, work on inspiring him, and work on making him want to work out, and let him find time to go and work out when he needs to.
Yeah. Work on the solution, because in particular, then now you're looking at trying to figure out, all right, what are the things that you can do that would help involve like this whole, and I guess support the whole weight loss journey that you are going through, and how to make it like a team effort and less so much like a just you going through something because, you done gained this weight in the relationship, less harsh. And again, this can apply to pretty much any type of, I guess, change that you're going through. Because in particular, it's really all about communication. That's bottom line. It's really about being able to talk through this and then get to the solutions, or at least an objective view of what you have to do moving forward in order to have the marriage still thrive under the new change. Because you don't let the change in a way destroy the relationship. You want the marriage to be able to adapt to the change. And in particular, it may involve a support system. You may, especially in new marriages, we always encourage premarital counseling. If you're thinking about getting married, probably get counseling. Like, it's just, you can never not prepare enough for the things you have to go through in a marriage and how you're going to communicate through that, being able to work through your own issues. And it's never too early to learn healthy ways to get things done in your marriage, because it's really about gaining that, system of being able to tackle issues the same way each time that works, for you guys, because that's going to be different.
Yeah, but also to be patient and persistent. You got to
Yeah.
tighten that screw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's okay.
The other side.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Be patient and persistent. So losing weight takes time and effort.
Yeah.
So they need to be patient and persistent if they want to succeed. They should also be trying to prepare for setbacks along the way.
Yeah.
So if he stops working out, she needs to go back and encourage him to go back and do those things. Hire a personal trainer if they need to, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But yep, those are some things you need to look out for.
Yeah, or how to handle it, the whole conversation in particular for this, John and Mary, this couple, because it's this kind of how it needs to go, and if that helps eases, I guess, the general outlook of how it may look. But in general, when it comes to all change, you got to be able to embrace change and communicate effectively through it so that you can navigate all the challenges that will probably come. And eventually, once you do it again, they'll become easier and you'll be stronger and really be able to tackle change in a way that's going to promote growth. So let's get into some ways that you can do this with your spouse that would apply to all types of challenges.
Be open to new experiences. So if your spouse is interested in trying something new, be supportive and encourage them. They will show them that you're interested in their growth and that you're willing to grow with them. That's very important, especially for men. We like that encouragement, and especially from our wives and our significant others, because you hear that all the time, is that women aren't supportive enough in the relationship. And even it goes down to race. They say that certain races are more supportive of their men or whatnot, and I don't believe that to be true. But it's just that just be mindful that you are a team. You're here to work out together, work these things out, and achieve goals together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And in particular for this wife, it's super important to create an environment that will influence the growth. So you want to be clear on your expectation with your spouse when you're coming up with, how what is it that you want to achieve? What are the goals that you have? How do you want to start to create a better environment that's going to help you all work through the change together? And it's going to mean, again, especially the spouse that's going through the change more personally, it's going to be important that you're comfortable being vulnerable. And as a man, this can be hard, I'm sure, sometimes when it comes to letting that pride down a little bit and letting your wife be able to, help you out and keep you healthy, especially within, habits, mainly if you like things like lots of cheeseburgers or your beers, and it can be hard to kick those habits. So just being open to the fact that your wife is doing these things because she loves you and stuff, and just be willing to go through these changes with your spouse and allow her to help.
In other words, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. This is something that you also need to do for yourself in regards to your health. So look at it that way. It's a health benefit.
Yep. Yeah. Another great way to cultivate this environment for growth within change is to provide opportunities for learning. So take the time out to really figure out new ways you can learn new things within whatever you're going through, garner understanding of the change, maybe seek out and talk to people who have also gone through things like this within whatever the change looks like. This kind of goes right back to the whole support system thing, maybe going out and getting in support groups, or just maybe fitness groups or classes, exercises classes in particular for this couple working with the whole change of weight and stuff. Just in general, being able to involve yourself around people and things that are going to help you to learn and grow and really take advantage of the opportunity that challenges can really provide if you're open to it, though. Don't let them scare you, though, because sometimes challenges, that's a big feat to get up to, especially something like weight gain and losing the weight. That it can be hard, but it's certainly something you can do, especially when you're dedicated and you're wanting to, learn how to do so.
Yep. And to go along with learning new things, encourage experimentation.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to try new things, like we said before, and find ways that work. So if you find out that something works as far as your workout regimen or dieting, then stick with those things.
Yeah. And get that feedback in particular that will help you to know whether or not this is actually working. Like, don't just, allow it to be something that you say, oh, this is working, and then you kind of see yourself saying it's working and then you stop doing it, especially if it's a negative change that you're trying to get through. But even if it's maybe something like a positive change, seek out and try to get feedback on, especially your spouse, as what are the things that they're seeing and experiencing with you through this change that you're going through, and how they can be supportive of you and you can be supportive of them, because you don't want it to be that this change is making you grow apart. You really want to make sure that you're growing together and you're keeping everybody up to date on what's going on, really.
Yep. And then also to celebrate your successes.
Yeah.
Talk about those.
Yeah.
So when you achieve a goal, take the time to celebrate them. Especially with your spouse. This will help you to stay motivated and keep moving forward.
Yeah, and that's important, especially as a couple. We always recommend doing those things that are going to help create those new experiences where you guys could actually, connect with each other and feel good about completing these goals together. That's really what makes it like, wow, like we're a team and we're doing something together and we're able to move through different environments and situations and know, we can make it through. It's going to actually help you gain confidence too within your relationship as you go along as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a little bit more into the particular lady question about, having him have weight, gain, and how to actually become more attracted to him. In particular, like we were saying, you want to support this healthy environment that's going to help him to, naturally lose the weight, right? So you're not going to want to tell him that, oh, you've gained the weight, you're fat, and all this other stuff. Don't be rude, be sweet and kind and loving towards your spouse, because you want him to want to do these things, not to reject you. In particular, as the wife, keep healthy foods readily available. This is easy. Keep your fruits, vegetables, keep them out, like keep things readily available, so that more available than those unhealthy options, so that your husband's more likely to reach and grab for, those healthy things that are going to help him to lose weight, especially if his fruits and stuff that he likes.
Right. And then also stick to dieting as well. Make sure you get the best results. Science has found out now that, fasting is by far the quickest way to lose weight. Athletes do it all the time, especially boxers and MMA fighters, to do it in order to catch weight.
Mm-hmm.
And they a lot of times they do that the nights before the fight or whatever the case may be, before the weigh-in rather. So incorporate that into your diet, fasting somehow, especially if she's trying to see quick results coupled with the exercise.
Yeah.
Also to make physical activity convenient. So if you have to drive to the gym, you're less likely to go. Right. So instead, find ways to be active around the house or things that you do every day in your life. So, go walking, go biking, or what, find ways to do things in your neighborhood, find a local park, things like that where you can enjoy exercise.
Yeah, and then maybe turn this into a great date night thing that you guys do, where maybe y'all bike to or date day, would you like bike to the park and you have a picnic or something? This will help to cultivate that intimacy that is missing because, you say you're less attracted to him because of the weight gain. Well, this is one great way for him to, be able to connect with you in those other ways that will help build the intimacy, cuddle, massage, spend that time touching each other and connecting with each other when you're doing these activities that are also going to promote his weight loss, because it's going to connect that dopamine, right? So your brain's going to be happy. He's going to be connecting with you. He's going to be losing weight. It's a whole win-win thing going on here. So just really take advantage of this opportunity to connect with your spouse.
Yeah. Find social support. So join a weight loss group.
Yeah.
Or find a friend or family member who is also trying to lose weight. So, or whatever the support you need in order to achieve your goal. So it doesn't necessarily have to be weight as well. So just find that support group that will give you that extra encouragement. Having people to support you can make a big difference. Like I said before, especially if your spouse is supporting you and inspiring you to make those changes.
Yeah. Yep. And even consider like therapy for yourself as you're working through your emotions, having someone to talk to as your spouse is going through any change. It's never a bad thing to prioritize your own mental health and check in on yourself and be like, hey, am I good? Am I making sure to take care of my mental needs so that then I am able to actually be a support system for my spouse? That's a really big thing to consider.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And another thing too is to manage your stress. So find healthy ways to manage stress, such as exercise, yoga, or meditation.
Yep.
So when you are less stressed, you're more likely to make healthy choices.
Yeah, that's super true. So also, that you guys are both out here working hard, make the time to maybe consider outsourcing somehow. You already are doing a great job with considering the times that you don't want to cook or whatever, but maybe throw in an extra day where you guys could also take another break where you both don't have to cook, or you both have a maid come in to help with cleaning, or, just any way that you can help relieve some type of stress on whatever the duties. Maybe have your parents watch the kids sometimes, just taking those times out to really make sure that you're connecting with each other and you're doing the things that are going to help you to, relieve those stresses together too. And also spending time apart, of course, making sure that you're rejuvenating yourself in those times, indulging in your hobbies, still finding the time to enjoy the things that you love to do.
Yeah. Also, like we said before, be patient. So be patient and persistent. So weight loss take time. So just remember that you have to go through with it, of course. So don't get discouraged if you don't see any results immediately, of course. So just keep going through with it.
Yeah, and sticking to it and not allowing it to,
I mean, this could be applied not only just weight loss, like I said before, whether it's other situations, alcoholism in your life,
right.
All this stuff really applies to that as well. So,
Yeah. Yep. And you gotta be realistic together in particular. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can think of within my.
I mean, seeking professional advice as well. Go ahead and see a doctor, especially if he's dieting and exercising. He want to make sure that he's in good shape and he's able to do these exercises.
Right.
So that's very important.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I do not like this. I don't think I like this camera angle. We have been trying new camera angles, but it's like when I'm talking to like YouTube, I have to like look up, but then like I'm talking to like Instagram, I have to like look down, and like face is like there, like we got to figure that out. Sorry, y'all. We playing with cameras. Anyways, I digress. Sorry.
Yep.
But yeah, that's change. It's life.
Yep. I'm pretty sure everybody can remember a time when your relationship changed because of some sort of event has happened in your relationship, So, we've basically gave you a blueprint on how to manage that change in your relationship, because it doesn't just have to be just like I said before, weight loss. So the floor is open. Anybody have any questions, any topics that they would like to discuss tonight?
Yeah, we always want to save time for that. Anyone looking? Full House. Hi, Instagram, Full House, and YouTube.
Yeah.
It's always nice. Let me check I'm trying to check the chat for Instagram. I don't see
and if
yet.
you know somebody who if you know somebody who needs to hear this, please, by all means, please share this video with them, and particularly on our YouTube site, because on YouTube we have HD sound and video as well. So, please like and share and subscribe to our YouTube as well, or either on the Instagram. Like our videos. We really appreciate you all. We do this for the community. We do this for you all. At the end of the day, this is a soundboard for you, and also to for us to give back and provide insight into relationships. Because coming from a successful relationship, we think that that's one of the best ways to cultivate other successful relationships.
Yes.
So that's the reason why we're doing this. One of the many reasons why we're doing this. So
because all the seems like hurt people love the broadcast their stuff, like give advice and all this other stuff, and it's like it's not coming from the literal vibration of like happiness and where you want to be in your relationship. And that's ultimately what you should be seeking alignment with, especially if you're looking to get married or wanting to, get your marriage in a better space or whatever the reason is. You always want to have those healthy examples around you that are really going to help you and motivate you and keep everybody on track. And in particular, help us build a good community for each other to all live in, because there is a loneliness epidemic, literally. And I don't even think they even hit on that in the news, like at all, like that. And that was like headline.
Well, that's not the purpose of news.
Yes, it is. What
that's
was
not the purpose of the news.
Oh, the news. Yeah.
They talk about what they want to talk about. They talk about what pays them. So, with that being said, Blueprint family, if you all don't have anything else tonight, we really appreciate you all coming out. You all have been very consistent with us. We've been loving the large viewership that you all have been providing to us. That lets us know that we are of value and we're providing value to you all. So thank you all, especially the people who have came out, multiple times. And we really appreciate it, and especially the comments. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I just see one preach. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Real.
Yep.
We all feel the energy from it, and we feel like, man, the energy is low when it comes to relationship and stuff. And now it's like time to
especially what you
raise
all see.
That up. Yeah.
It's easy to point out the negative, but it's harder to actually provide solutions.
Right.
In which a lot of people are not doing. Especially you see it all the time on YouTube. You see it on Instagram. It's good. It's good when you can provide a solution. Yeah. We appreciate it. You have a good night too. But we speak facts. Thank you. We really appreciate it. That's our show for tonight, and we really appreciate you all. Please come back again. We really appreciate the view. So you all have a good night. Peace.
Let me see if I can get this music up and going again. You think we'll play the same song?
Probably won't. Probably play something. All right, good night.